Hey there, and thanks so much for joining us for another great edition of Amazing Teachers. I'm Brandon Shope here on NHCS TV, and joining me right now is Miss Michelle Crowell over there at the brand new, they just built it, newly built Porter's Neck Elementary School. Beautiful school. I was out there just last week. Michelle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Brandon. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. All right, so now we are back in school. Obviously, things are very different, than what we had seen, previously because we're all remote. I mean, everything is remote learning here in New Hanover County. Tell me a little bit about, what has it been like, just kind of adapting and adjusting to that.
It's been a big adjustment from going to in person last fall and then going virtual again in the spring. It's just weird not having students in the classroom and having that noise and that interaction with them.
Very different, yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I was out there the other day. We had a lot of local media out there, interviewing a lot of the teachers and, just kind of talking about the transition, to virtual. I mean, for me, I mean, you were doing a great job. It was,
Thank
you
you.
were doing a really good job. And I
Thank
was
you.
watching it back on TV later on. I was like, wow, like they have really adapted well to this. Talk about the preparation that it's taken to kind of get prepared for this, and to make that adjustment.
Okay. I know as teachers, we've done a lot of our own professional development for these different technology pieces that we've used. We've had to do some Seesaw training. We've done Canvas training. We've done stuff on Zoom on our own. We've Zoomed with each other over the summer to make sure we knew how to use all the features and knew what the spotlight video was and all of that kind of stuff. So we've done a lot of background work to try to get familiar with the technology pieces and the learning platforms. But as far as like lesson planning, we still have our standards that we have to meet. So we're still, making sure that our lessons and our interactions with the kids meet those standards, but it just, how we deliver it is a little bit different now that we have to do it remotely. But like I said, that we've done a lot of stuff on our own, and our school has provided, and the district has provided a lot of professional development to get us familiar with what we need to be successful. So
Definitely. Well, fantastic. Well, tell me, Michelle, a little bit about. So, obviously, it is, like you said, it's a learning adjustment, and it's something brand new. But the kids, they seem to be, still enjoying school. I mean, watching them, they were lighting up. I think one child was, you were talking about unicorns or something like that with them, and they were just excited. Talk about the kids and how they're still able to learn, because even though this is a challenging time, obviously, for the entire nation, for the entire world, globally, really. It's a very challenging time. But talk about how we are finding the positives, in the remote learning, and how the kids are still getting a great education.
I know my students, and I can attest for the rest of kindergarten, my team, our kids are so excited to see us on Zoom every day. They want to do it all the time, all day. Zoom was down yesterday morning, and I was getting messages from kids on Seesaw, which is our learning platform, being like, I miss you. I want our meeting. Can we do one soon? I'm like, if it comes back up, we will do it for sure. They're really enjoying seeing each other. They get to wave and talk and say hi and get to see their classmates. And so I know I talked about relationships being hard, but it has been super positive because we are interacting with them kind of in a different way, but it makes it a deeper level almost, because we're getting to know them and their families. For kindergarten kids, their parents or a caregiver is usually with them. So we're getting to see parents and get to know them. We've had, and just the patience level for both parents and teachers, like we just have such respect for each other because we realize this is not easy and we're all learning and growing together. And so we just have, that's been nice to see because they know what we're dealing with and we know on their end like what they're dealing with. So just the kindness and patience that we've shown towards each other has been really nice, as opposed to in person where you don't get a lot of interaction with parents as much. So that's been a benefit as well.
Yeah. Well, so Michelle, tell me a little bit about, whenever it comes to the day in the life, of a teacher who is teaching virtually. Talk a little bit about, some of the innovative things, I guess, that you're doing in your day-to-day life that maybe are things that you haven't done before to kind of make that learning experience, really special for these kids.
Okay. One thing, I don't know if this makes it special, but we use a lot of little cues, which was kind of last week, like to help the kids know, okay, now it's time to raise your hand. And so you can put that up there and they see raise your hand. We have our signs for like mute your microphone so they know when to turn off or when to unmute. So just kind of, we play a lot of Simon Says with that, where it's either Mrs. Crowell or Mrs. Simon Says, mute yourself, unmute yourself, raise your hand, give me a thumbs up if you know this, that, or the other. We love to get our wiggles out, so we do a lot of brain breaks, which I can show them on the screen. We do All About Me every year, but because it's had to be virtual, we sent some bags and stuff home way at the beginning, and the kids were putting objects into the bags, but they get to share it on Zoom with their friends. So we're right in the middle of doing that. So their classmates get to know each other. So still kind of trying to do some of those community building things, but just doing it virtually and making sure all the kids get to participate and see each other. We do a lot of read alouds. I do a lot of recordings of myself reading stories and doing lessons that they can look at later. So they get to see me and hear me all throughout the day, and they can rewind it and play it as many times as they want.
Right.
So that's a little bit different.
Yeah, very cool. Well, hey, I was just thinking about this. You were holding up the different signs and the mute the mic one. I'm sure some of the folks, as much as I taught, would probably like to have one of those so they can just throw it up and be like, Brandon, mute your, mute your
We
mic.
joke about that. Yes, we joke about that all the time. Like, we just all want like a mute button. Like, please mute yourself. Like,
Oh, that's funny. Well, those are really innovative things, and I know the Bitmojis are big right now too.
They are.
What about
They
those? Have
are.
you been using those?
I have one of my teammates is much more tech savvy than I am, and she is like very into these Bitmoji classrooms. But our grade level all designed Bitmojis, and we use them on like just everything. Newsletters, they're in our Seesaw classrooms. I have a sign on my door right now of me riding a dinosaur that tells everyone I'm in a Zoom session. So they're everywhere. So the kids have gotten to see me and, as my Bitmoji and as myself. So it's fun. It's fun.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah, and for people who don't know, I'm sure by now most people know what Bitmojis are, like little cartoon character versions of yourself. And they have just endless, amounts of things that you can do with them. Michelle, thanks again for joining us. This has been great. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Maybe something I forgot to ask or I just left it out that you'd like the community to know, just about the work teachers are doing right now in this time of remote learning.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, thank you. I feel like I know a lot of parents are really frustrated, I think, with feeling like they have to be the teacher and they're getting put in that role. And that's maybe not something that they have wanted to do or wanted to take on that responsibility because they have other jobs. They have other kids and they have full-time jobs and they're working from home. But just know that the teachers are here for you. We're here for the parents, and we're going to do our best to help make it smooth and make it easy for you. We don't want it to be stressful. We're doing our best to not make it stressful, do fun activities that don't require tons of time. We don't want you spending all day, trying to do one thing. But we're here for you. We're here for you parents. We hear you. We want to be in person as soon as possible. Know that we want that too. I would much rather have kids in my classroom than on a screen. So we're gunning for it. That's what we want.
Michelle, Crowell, thank you again for joining us and for all the work you do out there at Porter's Neck Elementary. We appreciate it, and let us know anytime you ever need anything from us here in the communications division. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, I know teachers are just working so hard right now. My wife is actually a teacher, and as we talked about whenever I met you in person, about a week ago, and she is working extremely hard right now, just as you all are. And so we're I knew how hard teachers worked, but I didn't know, just the full scale until I started seeing, just how you all have really had to ramp things up even more. And you were already performing all at a high level before. And, now it's just at another notch. So thank you again for everything, genuinely.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you for your appreciation. That means a lot. Words of encouragement are always accepted.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Definitely.
you.
All right, Michelle, take it easy. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you, Brandon. Bye.
Bye. See you.